Hey, what's up everybody? This is the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 and finally I'm able to make a review on this watch. Long story short, this review was put on hold because my Watch Active 2 broke down a second time. I'll explain more later, but basically as I didn't have the watch on me, I was unable to make a review of it. In this review, you are going to see footage of my old Galaxy Watch Active 2 and the replacement that they gave me as a result of my old watch breaking down. Let's get into the review. So I've had my old Galaxy Watch Active 2 since August of 2019 and this new replacement one for about 2 weeks now. I'll be mostly talking about my old Galaxy Watch in this review as that was the watch that I had intended to use for review. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the design and build quality. In terms of design, the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is a departure from the traditional Samsung Galaxy Watch and Gear design. There is no physical rotating bezel to be seen on the watch. It has been replaced by a digital and touch capacitive one. This is an upgrade from the original Galaxy Watch Active, which did not come with any sort of rotating bezel whatsoever. So having this added was a good thing. However, even though this seems like a cleaner and more futuristic approach to the physical rotating bezel, I'll be lying if I didn't say that I actually really miss the physical rotating bezel. Although it made the Galaxy Watch a little bit bigger in respect to its screen size to body ratio, the feel and satisfaction of physically rotating the bezel was always nice. For the body of the Galaxy Watch Active 2, all Watch Active 2 models use Gorilla Glass DX Plus for the display, which is supposed to be one of Corning's most scratch-resistant glass. My Watch Active 2 is a 44mm aluminium Bluetooth Watch Active 2. This version of the watch cost 448 Singapore dollars, and in the US you can find it for about 270 US dollars. The Watch Active 2 is available in both 40mm and 44mm sizes, and in Singapore, the stainless steel models support LTE. As for the overall look, the satin finish of the silver bluish aluminium is a nice look and is very minimalistic indeed. It's kind of like a round Apple Watch Sport. On the right side of the watch, you will find the circular home button and the back button, which also supports taking an ECG. However, that is currently not available here in SG. There is also a microphone hole between the buttons for recording voice memos or for making phone calls. On the left side of the watch, you will find the speaker, and some of you might be wondering as to why a watch may need a speaker. Well, the most obvious reason for this would be for hands-free phone calls on your watch, because your phone might be sitting somewhere else or, it's just not convenient to pick up your phone. For me, however, I actually use the speaker mostly to play music from Spotify when I'm outside running without my phone. Although it isn't that great, it actually gets the job done pretty well and I'm pretty satisfied with it. This is also possible due to the 4GB of storage on board the watch. The Watch Active 2 uses standard 20mm watch bands, which means that you can change them out for any other 20mm watch bands if you want. For me, I have several 20mm watch bands that I switch out on the regular to keep things fresh. This feature, if you would like to call them that, is a pretty underrated feature in my opinion. Sure, they aren't as easy to swap out as an Apple Watch's proprietary watch band, but that's the thing though, Apple Watch bands are proprietary. The Watch Active 2 on the other hand, they aren't. You can just go out and buy any quick release 20mm watch bands that you want. Now I do have quite a few scuff marks on the body of the watch as well as scratches on the screen. But that's what you get with wear and tear, and if you tend to be clumsy like me at least, you could go ahead and buy a case for the Watch Active 2. Well, the good news though is that the screen of my old Watch Active 2 was still intact despite me hitting my watch against walls and other stuff. So how is the performance of the watch? Well, generally it's been quite pleasant. The Watch Active 2 is powered by Samsung's Exynos 9110, and while you can compare the Snapdragon 888 to the Exynos 2100, as the S21 series uses both chips, you can't really compare the Snapdragon to Exynos in a Samsung watch, as all Galaxy Watch Active 2s use the Exynos 9110. That being said, performance has actually been pretty solid overall. There are occasional lags and sluggish performance, but generally scrolling through the interface is really smooth and apps open relatively quickly. The good performance can probably be attributed to the optimization between the Exynos chip and the software of the Galaxy Watch Active 2. The current version of Tizen running on my watch is Tizen 5.5.0.2 and One UI 2.0. So basically, Tizen is kind of like Android for Samsung watches, and Samsung watches don't use Android Wear. While we're on software and hardware, let's talk about battery life. The battery life of the Watch Active 2 has been really solid. I'm able to get a full 2 days worth of battery life out of this watch, which I know doesn't really sound that impressive, but considering that the smartwatch competition out there, such as the Apple Watch, is only able to get a full day of use before needing another charge, I would say that this is definitely good, if not at least decent battery life. What this 2-day battery life allows you to do is things like sleep tracking. Now, I'm not a fan of wearing my watch to sleep, but for the sake of this review, I wore my watch to sleep once, only to find out how poor my sleep quality is. But that aside, it does work, and if you are into knowing the quality of your sleep, the Watch Active 2 will be able to help with that. Since we are on the topic of health features, I'll go more in depth into how good the health features of this watch are. The primary pre-installed app for the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is none other than Samsung Health. There are a good number of workouts you can choose from within the app, such as running, walking, cycling, rowing, and so on. They are all relatively informative and tell you quite a bit about your workout. Of course, if you do want more fitness-based apps, you can install some third-party offerings such as Strava. There is an inbuilt GPS into the Galaxy Watch Active 2 to more accurately track the distance of your runs and distance-based exercises. Samsung Health also allows you to measure and track things such as your heart rate and ECG in some countries. Recently, blood pressure monitoring has also become available for the Watch Active 2 in the form of an app called My BP 2.0, but that app does require you to go through a pretty complicated sign-up process, so I didn't do it. Oh yeah, and before I forget to mention this, the Watch Active 2 also has swim tracking, as it is 5 ATM water resistant. That means that the watch should be water resistant to a depth of about 50 meters. So far, the Watch Active 2 seems really good on paper, and that's because it kind of is. It's a notch above many Android Wear competitors out there, and it really feels like the best Apple Watch alternative for Android users in terms of hardware and software experience. However, where the Galaxy Watch Active 2 falls short is the same way as every other Galaxy Watch and gear before it, the app collection on the Galaxy Store. Because the watch runs on Tizen, there is a specific app store for the watch as it doesn't use Android's Wear OS. Unfortunately, right up to today, many app developers haven't jumped onto Tizen to develop apps for the Galaxy Watch. As such, the app selection for the Galaxy Watch is much more limited than on an Android Wear watch or an Apple Watch. Don't get me wrong though, there are good app options on the Galaxy Store, just not as many as I'd like them to be. And this honestly isn't really Samsung's fault. Tizen OS on the Galaxy Watch feels pretty refined and polished, and it is nice to use, but many app developers just haven't found the motivation to develop apps for the Galaxy Watch, unfortunately. Okay, so this about sums up my review for the old Galaxy Watch Active 2, which I had been using for more than a year now. Now I want to get into talking about what happened and why I have a new one as a replacement. So it all started quite recently, in about December of 2020, when my Galaxy Watch Active 2 just randomly shut off and it wouldn't turn on again. So I sent it in for repair and I got it back about a week later. It was fixed and working again, which was great. But then in January, which was when I actually started making this review, the watch went into a boot loop. The watch kept restarting and restarting until it ran out of battery, and there was nothing I could do to fix that. I left the watch on the charger overnight because I planned to take it in for repair the next day, and I noticed that the screen started to freak out and it showed a green tint, and that pretty much confirmed my suspicion that my watch was likely damaged by water. Now at that point I didn't even swim with my repaired Watch Active 2, as all I did was to dip it in about 50 cm of water. So what I am suspecting, which is just speculation by the way, is that during the initial repair, my watch wasn't sealed properly, and this meant that water could now easily infiltrate my watch because it wasn't sealed well. Now I don't want to say that the technicians didn't do a good job, but this was just one possibility. But you know why I think that this is a pretty likely possibility? Because this is the exact same thing that happened to me before on my Galaxy Note 9. Long story short, my Note 9's cameras had some issues, and so I sent it in for repair. When I got it back, I went kayaking, but I did not submerge my Note 9 in water, but water still got on it. When I was done kayaking, my phone started to freak out, and the screen turned green, and the rest was history. I sent it in and they did confirm that it was water damage, but they did replace my Note 9, so that was nice of them, I guess. So in the case of my Watch Active 2, I explained the whole ordeal to them and what I thought possibly happened. When I got back my Watch Active 2, they told me that they had replaced certain components such as the motherboard, the back button, and the screen. I'm not sure, but this does look like a new, or at least refurbished Galaxy Watch Active 2, as the casing of the watch isn't the same one as I had on the previous watch. Whatever it is, I am glad that they did do it for free though. So yeah, that was my whole experience with the Samsung Singapore's service center, and the whole history of what had happened to my old Galaxy Watch Active 2. To conclude, is the Galaxy Watch Active 2 worth it in 2021? Well, seeing how Samsung had recently released a new color variant of the Galaxy Watch Active 2 with the S21 series, I would say that Samsung probably does plan on continuing support for this watch for quite a bit longer. So yeah, the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is worth it for any Samsung user or Android user who doesn't like Wear OS and doesn't want to spend money on a newer and more expensive Galaxy Watch 3. If you're an iOS user, the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is definitely worth a look if you don't like the look of the Apple Watch because it is maybe square. Anyways, that's been it. If you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up, and if you disliked it, do give it a thumbs down. Please subscribe and share this video as it really helped the channel out. And let me know down in the comment section what you guys like to see next and how I can continue to improve my YouTube videos for the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.